appreciate you coming out on a little bit of a dreary day, but you know, we can't always control everything. My name is Jim Rickard. I'm a volunteer with the Sierra Club here in Minnesota, and I've been working on the electric vehicle thing for the last few months, and it's just something I've had a lot of passion and interest in as an individual, a citizen of Minnesota, and that led to my involvement through the Sierra Club to come today and be involved in this event. So again, thank you all for coming out. I don't need to tell you that America and Minnesota are facing great economic and environmental challenges these days. However, we are also at the forefront of a significant technological transformation, which can be important building blocks to address those challenges. Later this year, we should start seeing the first deliveries of mass-produced battery electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles. Over 12 major manufacturers have announced plans to sell these vehicles in the U.S. starting this year. When combined with solar and other renewable energy technology, we will now have two of the key components for building a clean, sustainable transportation solution and a new economy here in Minnesota and the United States. This is not some distant concept. The technology is available, it is coming, and by proactively embracing it, we can start to break the cycle of dependence on foreign oil and use homegrown energy to strengthen our economy and our environment. To take full advantage of these technologies, Minnesota needs to continue to encourage the widespread adoption and highest possible utilization of electrified vehicles. We have started the ball rolling, but we need to do more. Today, a coalition of industry and conservation organizations have come together with state legislators to call upon Minnesota lawmakers to continue to work to remove barriers and create incentives to make this a reality. Among the most important piece of the puzzle to optimize these two technologies is the creation of a statewide network of home, public, and employer-based charging stations. With this type of infrastructure in place, the electric range of vehicles can effectively be extended, opening up the use of vehicles to more potential buyers. The benefits to Minnesotans are great and real. Numerous Minnesota companies are well positioned or are ramping up to serve the solar and EV markets. While some investment is required, the payback in the form of cleaner air, reduced greenhouse gases, and the creation of real jobs here in Minnesota for the manufacture and installation of electric vehicle charging stations and solar systems, and hopefully the manufacturing of electric vehicles themselves, will be great. Joining me today are a number of speakers who will make brief comments on the power of electric vehicles, solar technology, and the combination of the two. Speakers include Ken Bradley, Director of Environment Minnesota, Christopher Childs from the Minnesota Renewable Energy Society, and Lynn Hinkle from the Minnesota Solar Energy Industry Association. We will also hear from Representatives Frank Hornstein, Jim Dabney, Kate Knuth, and Senators Ellen Anderson and John Dahl, and others today. After our comments, our display and demo of these technologies will continue outside the steps of the Capitol. If you haven't had a chance to stop by, hopefully the rain will keep away for a little while longer, and you'll have a chance to go over and see these technologies live and in person, see how they operate, and see how they can work together for a powerful new vision of the future. I'll turn it over now to Ken Bradley from Environment Minnesota.
Bill Ford is talking about 25% of our vehicles being electric by 2020, and various other industries are saying the same thing. We released a report on solar energy, and I think that these two combinations mixed are really the way that our energy system is going to evolve. A lot of people don't realize that in Minnesota we have the either fourth or fifth best solar energy resource in the country, as good as Jacksonville, Florida, or Houston, Texas. So we always think because we have cold weather here that we don't have good solar, and that's not true at all, and a myth that we need to get rid of. And I think that once you marry those two technologies, we're going to have an energy system of the future. And I know that this is not science fiction, as Jim said. This really is happening all over the world, and we have to talk more in detail. And the legislature has done a great job passing various policies that help move us in this direction already this session. But I will turn it over to our next speaker, Christopher Childs.
Good morning, I'm Christopher Childs, and I co-chair the Advocacy Committee for the Minnesota Renewable Energy Society. We are, all of us today, living on a kind of razor's edge between an unnecessary tragedy, which has to do with climate shift around the world, and a fantastic opportunity. Those of us with the Renewable Energy Society are enthusiasts. We're enthusiastic about renewable energy, genuine renewable energy of all kinds, but most especially about solar, which is what most of us know best. We're also enthusiastic about the opportunity side of that razor's edge in the largest possible sense. And there are a few things that excite us more than the opportunity to marry plug-in vehicles with renewable energy. It holds promise for international security on the energy front and the geopolitical front. It holds opportunities for cutting greenhouse gases by a significant amount in this country and around the world. And it holds opportunities for cleaning our air. We sometimes forget, in the face of climate change, that one of the original virtues of renewable energy was cleaning our air of pollutants that are, for example, contributing to an epidemic of asthma among our children in this country. To bring this home, my wife and I live in a 1911 house that has 3 kilowatts of solar energy on the roof. We produce a little more electricity than we use at this point. We have a Prius. We're looking forward either to converting that Prius to plug-in status and powering it with the solar on our home, or perhaps buying an EV or a plug-in hybrid if it's possible for us to do that in the short run, within the next year or two. We don't drive a whole lot, but even with our relatively modest driving habits, powering a plug-in vehicle with our own home solar will save our household conservatively $1,000 a year. That's the brass tacks from our house for the possibilities of making this switch, making the transformation that involves this marriage between renewable energy and plug-in vehicles. And we're looking forward to it at our house, and we're looking forward to seeing it happen all over the country and ultimately all over the world.
I'll let folks throng in behind me. So, as the representative said, to show the visible support that we've achieved this session and going forward. Again, my name is Lynn Hinkle, Policy Director for the Minnesota Solar Energy Industry Association. I'd like to remind people that on April 1st last week, Governor Tim Pawlenty signed the jobs bill, which includes provisions for property assessed clean energy, an acronym called PACE. PACE enables local governments to create voluntary programs that will allow property owners to finance solar, other renewable energy, energy efficiency, and as a standout, we're the only state that I'm aware of that has incorporated language for the installation of electrical vehicle plug-in improvements to their homes or businesses through voluntary property assessments. We've made huge progress in this legislative session, including passing PACE and other provisions in the jobs bill, which should help attract more manufacturing jobs to our state, not just increase the demand for solar, energy efficiency, or plug-in capacity. With PACE, Minnesota counties and cities have a set of powerful tools to create energy improvement districts for both commercial and residential properties, and many cities and counties have already expressed interest in implementing PACE financing to help create good local jobs, secure and clean energy. We finally have a tool, along with some of the others that are going to be discussed this morning, to help create that combination of plug-in plus solar. We say it's putting the PV in the EV. You finally have a vehicle that we can say, along with buildings, are going to achieve net zero. It's a wonderful time to be alive and see these tools and the opportunities unfold in front of us. So with that, I'll turn it over to these incredible legislative advocates that have been working with us this session.